All right, everybody, welcome to part two of my reaction to In the Morning Day and Kahutek from Journey off of their debut album. Just had my mind blown by specifically Kohoutek. I did not know that Journey ever did stuff like that. Like I said at the end of part one, I think of Journey, I think of a handful of songs that pretty much everybody knows. I am so pleasantly surprised by that song, and I'll talk about it a little bit more, but I want to talk about In the Morning Day real quick. Man, Journey has gone through some, different lineups and stuff like that, but man, this is like back at the very beginning, and it's so solid. I mean, this album doesn't seem super focused. I'm only 3 songs in. It doesn't seem super focused, but each song in its own way is just solid. And the playing and the production is surprising me quite a bit. I'm not going to lie. The different, the layers and the volume swells and just different things that are kind of, I don't know. They just take a little more thought and a little bit more time. And of course, we see it all over the place. But usually, debut albums, you're kind of in the studio. You got limited time, limited budget. You're throwing stuff down. And a lot of times that, comes through in the final recording. It feels maybe rushed a little bit. And it feels maybe a little bit cheaper, which can be cool. You get the rawness and then you just get the band being the band, and it can be cool, but there's a lot going on here that's surprising me quite a bit, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the vocals on the first track maybe weren't my favorite. I'm kind of thinking, oh man, it's definitely not Steve Perry, and it's different. So maybe it was just different that had me, because on In the Morning Day, I thought the vocals were awesome. Everything sounded so good. And I love how that track went from this kind of like soulful, soft feeling into this really big groove that was just kind of in your face. And then it went just full-fledged chaos there at the end. But man, I love the groove like that, man. I love when it just kind of grooves away, and yeah, really, really fun. But guys, of course, the highlight here is Kahutek. That blew me away. I mean, that's just straight up like prog rock. I mean, oh man, the intro and then those feedback swells, just Neil Schon, I've always felt like and expressed that he is one of the most like naturally melodic guitar players. There's just something that he's got that is just there. It's so even this 1975. And he still had it. Of course, you're like, well, when you get into more of their pop stuff and it's supposed to be more catchy and radio friendly, you're going to have that. But it's still there. I mean, it's just this feeling of just like, I was listening to it, and I try not to make a ton of comparisons on the channel because people don't like it. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, that Joe Satriani feel, I'm like, I can maybe see where he got some of that. This just really grooving, melodic, everything resolves to like, oh man, the phrasing is so good. And his tone, that's what I love about him. You take his tone and his melodies and like everything about him, it just meshes together into something so gorgeous. And it doesn't really matter what style, whether it's more upbeat or whether it's more like this, or whether it's supposed to be more, emotional and kind of sad. It's irrelevant because it all sounds so good. And I'm telling you, man, that guy has got a gift. I love it. And it's always inspired me, everything I've heard. And, Journey wasn't my band. And so I never really cared too much to go back really far into their discography and just kind of start at the beginning. But doing that on this channel with Rush has kind of made me be like, I wonder what other good music I'm missing out on. And when I asked for suggestions, some of you guys said Journey. And I'm like, you know what? That's cool, because I know those guys are talented. I know they have a lot of really good songs that a lot of people know. And I'm like, I'm sure there are some hidden gems. 3 tracks in, and I already found one of those hidden gems. That's for sure. And I have to, I can't just toss away the rest of the band either. The drums stood out to me, too, as just being awesome. And the mixing on them, the panning and the fades on the toms and the fills, and just you got these fills going, and you're hearing it just kind of pan around your head, and it's just so, it's like you're in the music. You know what I mean? It's just kind of it's such a different feel than listening even on, just a stereo system or monitors or something like that. You just get a different feeling, and you hear the music in more of it's just bigger. It just is. And I absolutely love that. And I love catching the little things. And then of course they've got, the keys and the guitars are dueling and battling it out and stuff. And it's just fun stuff. So aside from being just really talented and awesome, it's just a lot of fun to listen to. Sometimes you get stuff that's going over the top and it can kind of lose the funness factor, but this definitely did not do that for me. But man, I'm excited to see where the rest of this album goes and to see where Journey continues to go. But that'll about do it for this video, you guys. Awesome stuff. Thank you for the suggestions. If it wasn't for you guys and your comments and stuff, I wouldn't really know where to start or what to check out, and I just kind of have to reach into a hat and pull something out, and that could be hit or miss, but I like having a little bit more of a focused path, I guess, and being able to just kind of work through an album. And then, you know what? If the rest of the album, continues to be as awesome as the beginning of it, I'll have to check out more Journey. There's no doubt about it, you guys. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave me a like, leave me a comment. And if you have not already, please subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell icon, and you'll get notified immediately when new videos come up.